At 3:17 every morning, Daniel heard 3 knocks from the room at the end of the hallway. Not 2, not 4, always 3. And the worst part was that a room didn't exist when he moved in. Daniel had only been living in the old house for 11 days. It was cheap, quiet, and far away from everyone, which was exactly what he wanted after losing his job, his relationship, and most of his savings in the same month. The house sat at the end of a narrow road surrounded by trees that leaned too close to the windows, like they were trying to peek inside. The landlord had warned him about the place, not in a dramatic way, not in a "this house is haunted" kind of way. He just handed Daniel the keys, looked down the hallway, and said, "Don't use the back room." Daniel laughed. "What back room?" The landlord didn't laugh back. He just said, "Exactly." Then he left. At first, Daniel thought it was just one of those strange things old people say. The house had 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a kitchen, a living room, and a long hallway with faded yellow wallpaper peeling at the corners. There was no back room. At the end of the hallway, there was only a blank wall, but on the 4th night, Daniel woke up to knocking. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. He sat up in bed, holding his breath. The house was silent again. He checked the time. 3:17 a.m. Daniel told himself it was the pipes. Old houses made sounds. The next night, it happened again. Knock, knock, knock. 3:17 a.m. This time, the sound was clearer. It didn't come from the windows. It didn't come from the ceiling. It came from the hallway. Daniel grabbed his phone and turned on the flashlight. The floorboards creaked beneath his feet as he stepped out of his bedroom. The hallway looked normal. The peeling wallpaper, the crooked picture frame, the old carpet runner, and at the end, a door. Daniel froze. There was a door where the blank wall had always been. It was tall, dark, and made of wood so old it looked almost black. The handle was brass, worn down like someone had turned it thousands of times. Daniel stared at it, unable to move. Then, from the other side, something whispered, "Daniel." His blood turned cold. He backed into his room, slammed the door, and pushed his dresser in front of it. He didn't sleep the rest of the night. By morning, he convinced himself he had imagined it. Stress, lack of sleep, maybe even a dream. But when he stepped into the hallway, the door was gone. Only the blank wall remained. Daniel called the landlord immediately. The phone rang 6 times before the old man answered. "There was a door," Daniel said. The other end went silent. Then the landlord asked, "Did you open it?" "No." "Good. What is going on?" The landlord breathed heavily into the phone. "Listen to me carefully. If the door appears again, do not speak to it, do not touch it, and no matter what it says, do not open it." Daniel swallowed. "What's behind it?" The landlord whispered, "Whatever it needs to be." Then the call ended. That night, Daniel tried to stay awake. He made coffee, turned on every light in the house, put a chair in the hallway facing the blank wall. At 3:16 a.m., the air changed. The lights dimmed. The house became so quiet that Daniel could hear his own pulse. Then the wall at the end of the hallway began to stretch. The wallpaper split down the middle like skin tearing open. Wood appeared underneath. The brass handle formed last. Then came the knocking. Knock, knock, knock. Daniel stood up, gripping a kitchen knife. The voice came again, but this time it wasn't a whisper. It sounded like his mother. "Danny?" His heart dropped. His mother had died when he was 14. "Danny, please open the door. It's so cold in here." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. It sounded exactly like her. The softness, the little tremble in her voice, even the way she said his name. He stepped forward, then stopped. The landlord's warning echoed in his head. Whatever it needs to be. Daniel backed away. "You're not my mother," he said. The hallway went silent. Then the voice changed. It became deeper, angrier. "You always were a coward." The lights burst above him. Daniel ran into his bedroom and locked the door. From the hallway, the knocking continued. This time it was harder, faster. Knock, 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 then silence. In the morning, the door was gone again. But something had changed. On the hallway floor, right where the door had been, was a single, wet footprint. A child's footprint. Daniel packed a bag. He was leaving. He didn't care about the lease. He didn't care about the deposit. He didn't even care about the furniture. But when he opened the front door, he stopped. The trees outside were wrong. The road was gone. Beyond the porch was only darkness. Not nighttime, not fog. Darkness, like the house was floating in empty space. Daniel slammed the door shut. His phone had no signal. The windows showed nothing but black. By sunset, the house began to smell like damp wood and old dust. By midnight, Daniel heard movement inside the walls. Scratching, dragging, breathing. At 3:17 a.m., the door appeared again. Knock, knock, knock. Daniel didn't move. The voice came from behind the door. This time, it was his own voice. Daniel opened the door. He held his breath. His own voice continued. "I know you're scared. I was too." Daniel backed away slowly. "I opened it," the voice said, "and now I understand." The brass handle turned slightly. Daniel's stomach twisted. The voice whispered, "There are so many doors, Daniel, so many rooms, and every room needs someone inside." The door shook violently. Daniel grabbed the chair and wedged it under the handle. For a moment, everything stopped. Then laughter filled the hallway. Not one laugh. Dozens, men, women, children, all laughing from behind the door. The wood began to crack. Daniel ran to the kitchen, grabbed a hammer, and started tearing at the walls near the front door, trying to escape. He ripped away wallpaper, then plaster, then wood. But behind every wall was another hallway. The same hallway, the same yellow wallpaper, the same dark door at the end. No matter where he broke through, the house led back to the door. By the third night, Daniel stopped sleeping. By the fourth night, he stopped eating. By the fifth night, he started hearing voices during the day. They came from the drains, the vents, the empty rooms. Some begged, some cried, some promised him things. His mother's voice told him she loved him. His ex-girlfriend's voice apologized. His old boss offered him his job back. A child's voice asked if he wanted to play, but Daniel did not answer. On the sixth night, the door appeared early. 11:42 p.m. Daniel stared at it from the living room. No knocking, no voices, just the door, waiting. Then a note slid out from underneath. Daniel didn't want to pick it up, but he did. The paper was old and yellow. Written on it were 4 words. "You are already inside." Daniel's hands began to shake. He ran to the hallway mirror. His reflection was there, but it was smiling. Daniel wasn't. Then his reflection raised one finger to its lips. "Shh." Behind him, the door creaked open, just an inch. Cold air poured into the hallway. Daniel turned slowly. Inside the room was not darkness. It was his bedroom, but not empty. Daniel was inside it, asleep in bed. The real Daniel. The one watching from the hallway felt his chest tighten. He stepped closer. The sleeping Daniel in the room opened his eyes and whispered, "Don't let it out." Then something behind the sleeping version of him sat up. Something tall, something thin, something wearing his face. The door slammed shut. Daniel screamed and ran to the kitchen. That was when he saw the calendar on the wall. The date was wrong. It was not the 6th night anymore. It was the 11th. He had lost 5 days. At 3:17 a.m., the knocking came again, but this time it came from his bedroom door. Knock, knock, knock. Daniel turned. The hallway door was gone. His own bedroom door was closed. From inside, his mother whispered, "Danny, please, I'm scared." Daniel cried silently. Then came his ex-girlfriend's voice. "Daniel, I forgive you." Then his own voice. "It only hurts when you fight." The doorknob turned. Daniel backed away. He realized something then. The door didn't want to be opened. It wanted him to choose. Every voice was bait. Every memory was a hook. Every regret was a key. Daniel grabbed the hammer and smashed every mirror in the house. Then every picture frame. Then every light. He shouted into the dark hallway, "You can't have me." For the first time, the house answered in its real voice. It was not his mother. It was not his own. It was old, deep, and hungry. We already do. The floor split open beneath him. Daniel fell. He landed hard on cold wood. When he opened his eyes, he was standing in a hallway. Not his hallway, a different one, longer, darker. There were doors on both sides, hundreds of them. Behind each one, someone was knocking. Some whispered names, some screamed for help, some laughed. At the very end of the hallway stood the black door with the brass handle. It opened slowly, and the landlord stepped out. Daniel gasped, "You." The landlord looked older now, much older. His skin hung loose, his eyes were empty. "I told you not to open it," the landlord said. "I didn't." The landlord smiled sadly. "You listened." Daniel stared at him. That was enough. The landlord stepped aside. Behind him was the front porch, the road, the trees, freedom. Daniel ran. He burst through the door and fell onto the grass outside. Morning sunlight warmed his face. For the first time in days, he heard birds. He looked back. The house stood silent, normal. The front door was closed. The landlord was gone. Daniel didn't wait. He ran down the road until he reached town. He told the police everything. They didn't believe him. Of course, they didn't. When they drove him back to the property, the house was gone. Only an empty lot remained. No walls, no porch, no hallway, no door. The officer said the land had been empty for over 30 years. Daniel never went back. Years passed. He changed his name, moved states, started over. He never lived in a house again. Only apartments, high floors, short hallways, no rooms at the end. But last night, Daniel woke up suddenly. His apartment was quiet. The clock read 3:17 a.m. He sat up slowly. From outside his bedroom, 3 knocks. Knock, knock, knock. Daniel turned on the lamp. His apartment hallway was longer than he remembered. At the end of it stood a dark wooden door. And from the other side, a voice whispered, "You forgot to close it."